Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what side of the world you're in. I'm HalfLifeSistah, and this is my hubby Wolf Kane.
What's up, everybody?
And welcome to another episode of Sister and the Wolf Reaction.
Yeah. You see that?
Yeah,
Is this confusing to anybody else?
I'm gonna tell our people what's popping.
We've been shooting in mirror mode, so every time I do this, it looks like I'm doing it with my left hand instead of my right.
Yeah.
Now we've oriented the camera correctly, and now
Right.
I have to get used to doing it this way, so it's not... I don't know. I
Baby,
feel like I'm
just
going to
be
elbow
you.
her.
You better not.
I just feel like I'm going to elbow you every time I do
You
it.
better not.
Okay.
But
But we
yeah.
have to get used to doing it
This
this
is the
way
right, and
because,
this is the left.
you know, you can't... What we realized is when you have the words... Like,
It's
it looked
washed out.
fine, but... Yeah, this is washed. Oh, my God. That's just great lighting.
Oh, boy.
All right, now you can read the actual words in the right order. I'll try not to elbow you.
Don't hurt
This
me.
is going to be hard.
It's an adjustment.
All right, there is one thing I do want to talk about before we start the video.
Yes.
The email you sent me.
Yeah.
He wants to remain anonymous, but I thought it was amazing.
Yes.
I don't know what you were expecting when we started this reaction channel, but I sure wasn't expecting something like this. I asked him if we can share his story. He said yes, but he did want to remain anonymous, so I've removed any kind of personal information and stuff like that. But I do just want to say this. He wrote us a message saying, "Hi to you both. I'm a subscriber and regular viewer of your channel and just wanted to say that you and one other channel have got me through some dark times in the last year. I was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer and undertook chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and had some major surgery to have it removed. During this time, I discovered 2 YouTube channels that brought me much joy. I regularly comment in your sections, but didn't want to be overtly public with any of this." He wanted to remain anonymous, like I said, so I'm not going to read the rest of his message, but just the fact that he's saying that we brought him joy in this particular moment, which, by the way, I'm very familiar with because that is how my mom passed away. The story hit me very strongly. He didn't even know that when he mentioned it, I don't think. But I've been through. She went through what he is describing here, so I know what he went through, and the fact that we brought a smile to his face and joy. I definitely wasn't expecting that when we were starting this channel, so that touched me pretty deeply.
It touched me as well.
And you know who you are. Just want you to know that we love you.
I love you. Thank you,
And
baby.
thank you that we're bringing you any semblance of joy.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
I hope you remain in remission. I believe that you are. And
Keep in contact.
yeah, keep us posted on your situation. With cancer, obviously, when you catch it, means everything. If you catch it too late, for example, my mom's was caught too late, and she did go through chemotherapy and surgery, but unfortunately, she went through remission for a while, but then unfortunately, it came back. So,
But from what I remember reading, he says he is in remission and he's
Yeah.
doing really well.
yeah,
Very happy to hear that.
and I hope that stays that way, and we're definitely rooting for you.
Indeed, baby.
All right, so like I said,
I'm so excited.
didn't know much about them until recently.
Uh-huh.
And I'll give you just a little bit of info about them, but like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm just going to say the band's name. It's Zeal Ardor.
Okay, Zeal Ardor.
Okay, they're an avant-garde metal music project started by Manuel Gagneux. All right, he's a Swiss-American musical lead vocalist, guitar, synthesizer, programmer. He formed it in 2013, and he's got 2 albums at the moment.
It's a new
Yeah, it's very new. Didn't hear about them. Wasn't on my radar until they started pointing them out to me.
So you're learning about new bands as well.
Yeah, I mentioned that before. That one of the positives of a channel like this is that I'm getting so much good new music, and I don't have to search for it myself because it's already been vetted by our wonderful viewers.
What's up, baby?
So it's just a matter of time and trying to get to them all. And we appreciate your patience. Some of you are getting impatient with us. You want more Nightwish. You want Alice in
baby.
Chains. Nightwish is coming up.
This is the very beginning of my journey, my love. So just hang tight, okay? We'll get to it.
But listen, there's so much content in the world.
Yeah.
We will get to everything, but let's be patient. Let's have fun. Let's just enjoy the ride. Enjoy each other's company. Yeah, so Manuel was born in 89.
Okay.
He's in Switzerland. He has an African-American mother and Swiss father.
Okay, it's beautiful.
Both his parents were musicians. He grew up playing the piano.
Okay.
He moved to New York in 2012. He's listened to metal for most of his life as well. He was actually in a black metal band called Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he moved to New York in 2012, and he started a kind of like an indie sounding band called Bird Mask. It's kind of when I've listened to a couple tracks, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Gorillaz and a little bit like indie music. You know, it's kind of like a poppy sound, not really metal, but you can definitely see he has talent. Yeah. Multi-instrumentalist and
nice.
Creative guy.
Okay.
I'll explain how Zeal and Ardor came to be after the reaction.
All right,
so, because like I said, I do want you to go into it cold. So take a listen to that.
Baby. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm excited.
Herzlich willkommen in den Off-the-Road-Studios, wo heute, man höre und staune, traditionelle Gospelgesänge ertönen werden. Klänge, wie sie einst aus den geschundenen Kehlen der schwarzen Feldarbeiter Amerikas drangen. Es wäre durchaus hörenswert, hätte der heute anwesende Künstler nicht aus den ehemals frommen Klängen einen Bastard gemacht. Seine Gesänge nämlich preisen mitnichten den Herrn, sondern vielmehr seinen Gegenspieler, Satan in persona. Und dem nicht genug. Zeal Ardor lässt auch noch Black Metal Infernos ertönen. Hätten die Geknechteten damals eine solch schauderhafte Musik vollführt, die Sklaverei wäre vermutlich deutlich früher abgeschafft worden, aus musikästhetischen Gründen. Wundern Sie sich nicht, wenn während seiner Darbietungen eine Ziege geschlachtet oder ein jungfräulicher Katholik geopfert wird. Sagen Sie nicht, Sie hätten von nichts gewusst, wenn Ströme von Blut von der Bühne fließen und es nach Eingeweiden stinkt. Nein. Dieser Mann dürstet nicht nach Applaus. Einzig nach Ekel und Abscheu steht ihm der Sinn. Schonen Sie Ihren Magen und schalten Sie jetzt ab.
A good God is a dead one. A good God is the one that brings the fire. Good God is a dead one. A good God is the one that brings the fire. Good Lord is a dark one. A good Lord is the one that brings the fire. Good Lord is a dark one. A good Lord is the one that brings the fire. The bed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. A good God is a dead one. A good God is the one that brings the fire. Good God is a dead one.
Yeah.
Good God is the one that brings the fire. Good Lord is the dark one. A good Lord is the one that brings the fire. A good Lord is the dark one. A good Lord is the one that brings the fire.
Source of light, then sustenance and joy to them that revolve around us.
of the saints and the blood of the holy. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints and the blood of the holy. The river get down as a red with the blood of the saints. Good God as a whole land brings the fire. The river get down as a red with the blood of the saints. Good God the whole land will run. The river get down as a red with the blood of the saints. Good God as a whole land brings the fire. The riverbed will run red with the blood of the saints to the blood of the whole land will run red.
Wow. Holy flop. Oh my God, that was kick-ass. That was awesome. Oh my goodness. That makes me so happy.
So what's interesting is I actually think that part of what made you happy with the song is maybe it sounded very defiant.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
It did.
So,
Okay.
and that was the intent. That was the intent. That's
Really?
one thing that I like. You know, when we did the Slayer reaction, we talked about how the reason I love Slayer is because when you have a problem with religion the way I do,
Right.
having the listening to the opposite of that gives me energy, because it feels like it's a protest to the hypocrisy of
Yeah. Anything that-
religion and
of course,
society in
yeah,
general.
I understand.
And what Manuel decided to do, or what he's doing here, is he's saying a good God is a dead one.
Yeah,
a
I
good
did hear
God is
that.
the one that brings the fire. So Negro spirituals are typically a mix of Christianity
Right.
and
yeah.
African folk.
Uh-huh.
So he thought, what if slaves were Satanists instead of Christians?
Oh, what?
And that's where, so they're doing the Negro spiritual,
What?
but they're doing it in a very dark, blasphemous way.
It's crazy how I was able to feel that. Like, not that, but I felt that was like,
It's
felt
like almost
a,
in your subconscious. Yeah, you kind of get that vibe automatically
Wow.
immediately. Yeah, but it's absolutely intentional,
holy crap.
and I love it because how I'm very sensitive when it comes to race.
Yes, you are.
Of course, no such thing as race, ethnicity.
Ethnicity.
Well,
Of
we
course,
call it racism because that's obviously racists are ignorant, so
Exactly, yeah.
they would of course think race is a thing.
Right.
But I have trouble watching movies and listening to stories. I'm very well educated on it, but it's not an easy thing for me to experience because it kind of hits so close to home.
Yes, very yes.
Um,
One of my favorite movies is Color Purple. You can't watch it.
it makes me so depressed. How is it your favorite
I know,
movie?
well, because there's some things that I can relate, I can understand.
No, I get it's a
And I
great
feel like
movie, but
I'm-
it's
they-
so
They did such a great job
depressing.
taking you back into that time.
I know,
you
and that's the problem. It's too effective
too
of a
real.
movie, and it makes
It
me
is,
yeah.
Very much so.
Like I could watch that Quentin Tarantino movie,
Which one?
Django Unchained.
You can watch that though, yeah.
I could watch that because you know that there's a payoff, similar to Inglourious Bastards, where
No.
there's a Quentin Tarantino payoff. He's
Yeah,
gonna reward you for suffering through that anguish.
That's his
But
way.
in real life, it doesn't happen that way, which is why it makes
Yes.
me so sad. There is no revenge. There is no.
Mhm.
Actually, that's not true. I just realized the guy behind us. That's the cover of their first album.
Okay.
And let me read you who that is. The design, I put it to the left and right of us as well, so you can see the whole design. That's the sigil of Lucifer, right? And in that sigil of Lucifer is the Z for Zeal and A for Ardor,
Okay. Ardor.
right?
Okay.
Both synonyms for energy, right?
Okay.
Okay, so when he moved to New York, he was doing Bird Mask, and he would take the songs and post them on 4chan to get feedback from people on what they thought.
4chan, okay.
Do you know what 4chan is?
It's like a place, like a forum where people post things.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a forum basically,
Okay.
and obviously because of the anonymity of the internet, there's all types of people there. You know, it's
Right.
classic internet. He said he was posting there because they don't know you, they don't give a shit about you, and they're going to give you an honest opinion because of that.
Which is, yeah, you can appreciate.
At one point, he asked if for ideas on mixing genres. So he wanted them to give them 2 genres that they could mix together to make music out of. You know, just as an experimentation, right? So one person, of course, said black metal.
Okay.
And because it's 4chan, the other person said to make nigger music.
They actually said that?
Yes.
Nigger music?
Of course, because they're trolls and it's 4chan, right?
Right.
All right, so instead of getting offended, he basically thought of a way to actually make it work. Is there a way to mix black metal with African American music?
Wow, okay.
Kind of as an, you know, instead of getting offended, just as kind of an FU to, okay, I'll show you I'll do exactly that. And he thought of the Negro spiritual. It's not the first time it was done.
Okay.
Do you remember Moby?
I do. I remember you played Moby.
I play Moby all the time. You know, he did it back in the day, got super popular with it. You know, so he takes a sample of Negro spiritual songs or classic rhythm and blues songs, and he would mix it with his electronic music. So
cool.
it's been done before.
Okay.
I don't think it's ever been done in metal though.
Like
This is the
this
first time
though?
I've ever. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's ever been done in on this type of genre. So
Gotcha.
it's definitely unique to him in this sense. And I think he's definitely onto something. I don't think he's fully fleshed it all out completely. I think there's definitely room to grow and improve.
Right. Really?
Well, yeah, I think that his songs might benefit from some more complexity and some more.
In what way, though? What do you mean? I mean.
Well, I've been listening to some of his other stuff, so we could worry about that later.
Okay.
For now, we'll just talk
Let's
about
focus on this one,
what's on
yes.
this. Yeah, his logo. You see what he's holding there is a brand.
Yeah.
Because obviously they would brand
brand.
the slaves so that you would know what landowner you
Right.
belong to.
Of course, yeah.
So he created this brand, and he actually, in an attempt to help people understand how awful it was back then, he would say, brand yourself with this, with his logo, and see how it feels. Now, he didn't mean for people to actually do it.
Did people actually do it?
But of course, fans of his did. Now, here's the thing. He has then told them to stop. I was trying to point out how awful and dumb it is, right? But I feel like he's a little off on that particular point, because when people are fans of something, they're going to get tattoos. Branding is also something that today in modern culture, body modification and stuff exists.
Yeah.
So I don't think that those people were necessarily dumb or missing the point.
Of course not.
For example, they might have done it in solidarity, to feel the pain that they felt.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't just brush them off as being a silly idea.
Of course.
But that is just a funny story that did happen there. But I feel like there's always more to something than just the idea that, it's just automatic. Because again, this is modern times. We're looking at things a little differently. So you could do it for solidarity or as a fan or something like that, and not be as missing the point, you know?
Right.
But if they did miss the point, then that is kind of funny. Because why would you do that if you... But that was the message he was trying to say, obviously, with the branding.
Okay.
Anything involuntary is bad if someone's forcing it upon you. But if you're doing it for yourself, then it's not that bad. You know that, obviously, with slavery, they taught slaves Christianity as a means of control.
Of course.
Not to help them, but to control them.
Right.
They figured they'd be more docile. But of course, then there were people who thought that was a mistake because obviously they're not human. So why would you, teach them? So a lot of dumb stuff. I think I've used my shit quota for this reaction.
You have.
Okay. So dumb stuff. But we often talk about how African Americans can be Christian, you know, knowing where it comes from.
Right.
And one has to wonder if Constantine didn't win the battle against Marcus Aurelius, if Christianity would even exist. You know, I mean, it was his victory after seeing a comet in the sky, and he thought that his victory was ordained back in the early days that that Christianity is even a thing, because he attributed his win to Christianity, and for the next 25 years he just
I remember that.
he popularized Christianity.
Yeah.
What if it was Marcus Aurelius who won? What if he didn't drown in the Tiber and he beat Constantine that day? Then what would have happened? You know, so don't want to make it a religious debate, obviously, but I like the concept here, and the fact that
I do too.
I hate slavery and I hate racism so much, and I hate ignorance. It is so ignorant that I get a similar reaction when I listen to this that I do with Slayer in the FU of it all. The fact that these slave owners were Christian and the slaves are coming from the satanic perspective, the opposite perspective as an FU. And he doesn't go like the nice, kind satanic. He
Right.
does like the legit, scary kind.
I can tell, right.
As a point, you know, there's a
Right,
point
of
to
course,
it.
it's
It's not
intentional,
because there's any belief in that.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
understand.
the idea of protest and rebellion against that oppression. Yeah. So back to that logo and the picture behind it. That's Robert Smalls. He is a former slave who stole a Confederate ship.
Yeah, I think I remember. Okay, I'm sorry.
You know the story? You familiar
I've
with
heard of it, yes.
it? Okay, he stole the ship,
Something right.
took some family and friends,
Yep.
and sailed north to his freedom,
Yes.
eventually becoming a congressman.
Oh, I don't remember that part, but I do remember that part of that story.
He eventually served in Congress.
Wow,
He
that's
eventually,
crazy.
here's the thing, when he got to the north, he didn't have enough money to buy back his wife.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Keep going.
He gets a reward for it, so that he used that money to be able to buy his wife back. Not only that, he would then go back and buy, after the Civil War was over, he went back and bought his old house, his old slave owner's
I've
home.
read that story, heard it. from
He ended
somewhere.
up dying in it in 1915. He lived out his
Wow,
life there.
That's remarkable.
So crazy story. Look it up, Google it if you want to know more. Amazing stuff. There are so many amazing stories that came out of this, because again, you're treating an entire ethnicity of people as animals when they are human. The Negro spiritual sound, a lot of clapping, a lot of slapping on the thighs, a lot of percussion, because they weren't allowed to use instruments back then. So they had to improvise by doing the slapping and the clapping. That's where a lot of that comes from. And you know how they like to do that shuffle back and forth, where they don't cross their legs? That's because they weren't allowed to dance. So if they were to cross their legs, that would be considered dancing.
You
So
helped
that's
me
where the
remember
shuffling
some
came
things.
from.
Yeah, I remember that now.
And it's ironic that a lot of the things that ignorant dumbasses make fun of old, that old African stereotypes with the shuffling and all that stuff,
Yeah.
they don't even understand that the causes behind that and why it was even a thing,
Yeah.
you know? And the whole period in I think like the 1850s or something, the minstrel shows where they would have the blackface and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and it was created by that Jim Crow guy. There's so much history that I wish people would just learn. If you're the kind of person who genuinely considers himself to be an open mind, and you want to understand why race issues still exist today, just start from the beginning and make sure you don't miss anything. If you understand after the Civil War how America was then built, it was built on segregation from the very beginning. It's why we're still segregated today. It's why when you go across the railroad tracks, the neighborhood changes.
Yeah.
It's all because of ignorant racism. Redlining, study that. Understand when communities were being developed, black people, even when they were well qualified, could not get mortgages to buy homes in certain areas. When you understand how America was built from the ground up, you'll understand why there is such a racial problem that exists still today. And the problem is that people skip from the Civil War to today, forgetting everything that happened in between. It all builds on itself. Google African American Many Rivers. I want to get his name. Henry Louis Gates Jr. That's the name I was trying to remember.
Louis Gates. I know him. Okay.
Yes.
He's awesome.
Google him. Look at his documentaries and his work. He does a way better job than I do. So by all means, if you genuinely do care and you want to be open-minded and you don't want to be ignorant, at least go through the picture from beginning until now and then formulate your opinion from that information. That's how truth is made. It is emerging. It is built on the information of the previous information, and it continues to grow. That's how you get the right answer to a question. That's how you do math problems. You start by the equation. If you make a mistake at any point in the equation, you end up with the wrong answer. So you have to make sure that you go step by step and you have all the information so that way you can generate the right conclusion. If every ignorant person did that, they would no longer be ignorant. You're only ignorant because you refuse to accept facts or the truth or the entire story. You only want to hear a particular part of it to fit a narrative.
Yes.
Don't ever do that. If we all do that, the world is a better place. Period.
Indeed.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Thank you, babe. You did a really good job on this reaction and giving me the backstory, the backstory.
Yeah, we'll come back to Zeal Ardor some more.
I would love that.
Definitely unique. I feel like they're definitely on the right track.
Yeah.
I feel they're just going to get better. I want to see him explore this some more and definitely flesh this out. I feel like he's onto something here for sure. All right, so I'm done with the jibber jabber.
Well, thank you for the jibber jabber, and I'm sure our people will appreciate it.
And thanks for the reaction, for the request.
Yes, thank you, Zahil. All right, my loves, I hope you all enjoyed this reaction video, and if you did, give us a thumbs up, comment below, and do not leave without subscribing, and also share our videos as well.
And as always,
keep it metal. Metal forever, baby.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Bye. Mwah. Please click the link below to see my schedule on Twitch and join me live and be a part of all the beautiful fun. Now, before you go, please don't forget to click that follow button. And if you don't want to miss out, be sure to turn your notifications on. But if you ever miss any of my streams, you can always watch them back with ease by clicking here. You're so cute. You're cute. You're cute. Just, it's okay. Sorry.
What I realize is when you have the... See, now you can read the actual words in the right order. You see now... What the... What was that for? Are you done? Making a mess?
I'm done.
Love y'all.
Love you guys.
And as always,
keep it metal. Metal forever, baby. How do we do it? Hold on.
I know, now that we're married, I'm just...
It's weird.
I don't know. I never had the issue of elbowing you when you were on the other side.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand why now I want to elbow you.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and share.